And I had a couple that I was working with that was I was really struggling with how they were stuck. They were at loggerheads about a particular issue. And I remember just being in this kind of stuckness, feeling this stuckness and just being like, okay, I feel really, really stuck. So I actually did the code. I hadn't done it before with them. I did the three keys with them. It brought the energy right down. I felt like that actually what straight away happened because they were working with themselves in the space. The energy just dropped and they came into themselves. So all of a sudden I felt like there was some openness. And then I did the infinity resolution, which is whereby Sue will obviously explain it better, but you basically come up with you resource yourself on your left hand side with a deeply resourcing memory and you tap that in and then you bring in the issue that's challenging. And so I used the issue that they were stuck with, that they both did this. And it was really remarkable how then we were able to revisit the issue and actually be much more in our present selves. So what happened was they were able to come out of this deep reactivity that they were caught in with an issue that had been going on for years for them. And by coming from the body outwards through the practices, we got there in a session that was like really mind opening for me.
Yeah, that's really fun because if you think about it, a lot of the conversations online, they're disembodied, and the way we're so polarized right now, that first step was coming into yourself. And people are avoidant. That's why they are compulsively keeping themselves busy
Yeah,
or compulsively scrolling
yeah.
or trying to be still and to be present can be a very painful thing. And that's what the standing meditation is about. And that's why I do the work in standing, not in lying down, because you don't meet your stressors lying down. Well,
Mm.
sometimes it can be activating depending on your trauma, but for most people, that interaction of expressing what's happening inside of me right now, because a lot of times we don't know, we can't word it. And then how can I express it in a way that feels authentic and available? It's open. It's not like I'm saying it to win a point.
Mm.
So
And just
yeah.
what was interesting with these two people, and somebody had put a message about how to work with people in overwhelm or how to work with people in, higher agitation. They were doing different things. This is one of the challenges of their relationship was that under threat, one of them would do deep avoidance and one would do deep anxiety and attack. And so they were in different states in their nervous system. And traditionally, before that's been a real challenge to work when you've got one that's very shut down and freeze and the other that's maybe in attack, and to bring the other one up so that they can meet, somewhere in adult regulation. And they were both doing those classics. So one was very, very overwhelmed, going towards a shutdown. The other was getting more agitated. And that the same process with them brought their nervous systems into the balancing, that brought them into the connection, which I can't think of another technique that I could use that would do that. So normally I'd have to work with one to upregulate them and one to calm them down, but actually just through the three keys, their body went towards the coherence it needed. There was some upregulation for the overwhelm and there was some downregulation for the agitation.
Yeah, really powerful because what you're speaking to right there is like you're working with their human system, their body system, not their story system, not their individuality, not their ego states, not their identity, all the way down to what they share, which is their humanity. And when you are in a group setting and everyone can go down to what they share, and you have that common ground, literally, the common ground is the earth. The common ground is gravity as we're standing. It is a really inviting and enriched field that you create.